and welcome to Queer Abbey, the weekly chat show that is performed, recorded, and produced by yours truly. All of this frequently happening at about 1:51 in the morning on Saturday nights before I say I'm gonna release this goddamn podcast. But that's okay. I think that we are coming to expect and accept this manic middle of the night kind of energy from me. Maybe that's what this show is about, is gathering around at 2 a.m. to hear the things that I have to say when my brain is only about 20% working. It's like some sort of midnight mass where I act like an ass and I make rhymes like that. And also, I look pretty. If you're watching the video format of this episode, you can see that I look just absolutely stunning and gorgeous. So you're welcome for that part as well. Aren't you glad it's a visual podcast? I am. So anyway, thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you for tuning in each week. You know, it's viewers like you that make it possible with your contributions to PBS. One of the most prominent memories I have of this past week is working on my performance for my laptop ensemble. We're doing audio technology related stuff, and then we're going to do some sort of performance. We were really broadly tasked with just using patched software to do any sort of performance. And so we're going to do some sort of looping where you record a sound in front of the audience, just into a mic, like I'm talking right now, just and then we're going to edit that sound live and then make a song with it, basically. There's going to be more complexity to it than that, but yeah, I'm excited to show off the skill set that I have learned doing this degree path of audio engineering and get a chance to perform in front of the school. Although it is certainly nerve-wracking. And all of my classmates that I am performing with, it's me and 3 other people. And they are nervous, mama. It's hilarious. I love it because we're all feeling that tension of oh my God, what are our classmates going to think of us and what we, do here with our time? And it's just such a natural fear that you have being a performer, or even just being in school in general and having your peers and the weight of their judgment weighing on you. But circling back to the fact that I'm excited about having the opportunity to perform, and I think that we're actually going to do something pretty cool with our idea of looping. I don't want to spoil too much in case anybody that's watching this wants to come to our performance. It's going to be on March 13th. That's a Friday that's coming up in just a couple of weeks at noon, I believe. So that could be a lovely time for you to come see me do a funny little performance. And yeah, we're going to be using our deconstructed voices to create a song. We're going to reconstruct the sounds from our voice into something that's recognizable and cool right in front of you. So yeah. Things with my other film projects and music projects are moving right along as well. The film noir that I'm working on, that's being produced by students in the film school, they have given me the rough cut now, and me and my lovely classmate Walter, who I'm working on this composition with, we got together and we started scoring the rough cut of this film. And that was really fun as well, because I got to go into the little mixing kind of room. I don't know. It's just a room with a nice computer and some speakers. I got a burp. Hold up. And we put up the film on a projector, and I got to just play piano along to it in real time, and we mic'd up the piano so that I played these chords that I thought made sense and some different little gestures and everything while the film is happening. And then we used that and chopped it up and added crossfades, and it was just a lot of fun to collaborate with another person and get into a studio environment like that. I also got together with another classmate, I think, yeah, the next day, and helped them record Foley sounds for their Night of the Living Dead project. So it's actually for a different class, which is funny. They're both really film centric, but in one class, I'm doing the score for the film noir with the other students. And then in another class, I am redoing the sound. We're all doing parts of the movie Night of the Living Dead, right? And so for that we're recording the dialogue, the Foley sounds, and composing music for our scene. And everybody's struggling to different degrees of like getting together the Foley recordings and like getting and working together with people in the booth to do dialogue, because it's a lot of collaboration and a lot of like communication skills that are necessary to get those sorts of things done. And yeah, I feel like I've been really thriving in that sort of environment of coordinating with people, figuring out when I'm going to be available, and like, scheduling out the time and energy even, and like the willpower to be like a voice actor for on this day, or like get ready to go be a recording engineer on this day. And yeah, there's a lot of faculties that I've developed in my time in school and just in life on like how to show up and do a really good job at things. So I feel so proud of myself in that regard. The astrology this year has been interesting. I feel like whenever I talk about astrology at school or work, people roll their eyes so hard, but I really do love it. I think that it's an interesting way to communicate about the world. It's like an alphabet, basically. In the same way that we talk about the stock market or, I don't know, sports in any codified terms, astrology is just a language of correlations that have been made over thousands of years, ever since like the Babylonians and the Mesopotamians, who were agriculturally based societies, right? They looked up at the stars and noticed when floods would happen in correlation with the position of Venus and Mars and the planets that were closest to the Earth. And so by making these observations, they drew these correlations that like, okay, this is what the energy of this planet is, which it just sounds woo-woo as soon as you attach those words to it, energy and vibes and everything. But like it comes from something. I mean, it's not nothing. The reason that Venus is the star of like love, the star of like the divine feminine that represents Inanna, is because of this cycle it has of appearing for like 3 days during a certain time of the season and then disappearing. And it's woven into this story by the Mesopotamians about Inanna going to the underworld and then returning. And that's a really gross overgeneralization. You can absolutely look this up if you Google Inanna, Inanna. She's one of the Mesopotamian goddesses of like sex and war. Yeah, and she's one of the first known personifications of Venus, right? And so I'm going on a tangent, but basically, over time, these sorts of correlations turn into really complex observations about people being born under this star, or the formation of this country while this star is in this position. And so through this series of associations, which it's nothing that concrete, and that's why I don't think astrology is some sort of hard science, and I'm not going to argue that. But like, I think that there is value to it, because in the same way that we evaluate the stock market by predicting stuff based on correlations from past financial transactions, if that makes sense, like we look at the performance of a business and transactions of like the public and business trends, and we use that to predict what's going to happen in the stock market. And that's literally the same thing that astrology is. It's this series of correlations that we, use information based on past events and where certain stars were on certain times. And then we use that information to predict what might happen in similar circumstances in the future. It's not an argument that the stars cause things to happen on Earth, because that would be this illogical connection to draw between human behavior, which is infinitesimal in comparison to the movement of the celestial bodies, which is really huge and this grand scale thing compared to each of our individual motions. So I don't believe that the moon causes me to act in any certain way, but what I do believe is that I act a certain way sometimes when the moon is in a specific position in the sky, and I couldn't necessarily tell you why, but there's certainly a connection. As a Cancer, I'm a Cancer stellium, and I am ruled by the moon. So I've always felt deeply connected to lunar cycles and the sort of entire iconography of the moon and being a lunatic, literally, which is a word that comes from the way that our behavior is influenced by the moon. I feel like I sometimes can be a changeable person, but that also I'm reflective and introspective in the same way. Like, maybe I observe what's in other people and I have a tendency to try to change myself to fit into them. Like they're a glass of water and I'm the water in the glass. But as I get older, I'm learning to be a little bit less fluid, I guess, and like not lose myself. I'm just rambling right now. Not lose myself in a glass of water and stuff. Okay, let's pull back a little bit. Astrology, it's great. It's super fun. I'm stoned. It's 2 a.m. Okay, let's move on a little bit. I also wanted to talk about Marina and the Diamonds. She released a song called Butterfly, and it was fierce. Yeah, people on Twitter are being really mean to her and saying that it's like a childish, shitty song, but y'all are just haters. You hate astrology and like fun music from Marina and the Diamonds, but I liked it. I thought it was good. It's like certainly kind of poppy and just like silly, but it's actually a really good song. I put it in this little playlist. It kind of inspired me to make this playlist called like gay shower songs or something like that. And it's basically all Lady Gaga, Marina and the Diamonds, and Kylie Minogue. And there's a sprinkling of Azealia Banks and Beyonce. It's a good little dancey shower playlist. Okay, now let's move on to the advice segment for this especially rambly episode of Queer Abbey. And welcome back to the advice portion of, I forgot to say, it's episode 39 of Queer Abbey. Oof. Thanks for bearing with me on this one. I am low-key on the struggle bus because it's, 2 a.m. on Saturday. It's okay. I keep doing it to myself. I'm like, oh no, I don't have to record a damn podcast. It's literally something I choose to do. Anyway, the first caller asked Queer Abbey, how do you handle being the only single person that you know? My last single friend just got into a relationship. She also happens to be my best friend, so that may be why I'm feeling extra affected. Both my entire friend group from college and high school are in relationships. About 15 people total. Up until a few weeks ago, I felt so fulfilled by my non-romantic relationships. Suddenly, I find myself wanting a partner simply because I feel left out. Damn. Well, as a freaking homosexual, I have to say I do know what you mean. The feeling of being unwanted, I guess, because that's kind of what it is, Everybody wants to be in a relationship because we live this fantasy as humans that we are going to be chosen by somebody and they're going to like unconditionally love us and just like hold us up and choose us above everything. And I hope that that's true, and I think it is true for some people, but in reality, it's not true for everybody. I don't mean that as a super cynical and evil thing to say, but like love exists in lots of forms, and it's not always in the form of one monogamous long-term partner forever that's like exactly how you imagine it, you know? Love is oftentimes in the form of the person who, you know, brings cookies to work, or the male person who, I don't know, like always makes sure to wave to you when they see you. Like that's the kind of love that is guaranteed in life, is the kind that is familial and amiable and contextual like that, like to your life. But yeah, a storybook romance is not guaranteed, unfortunately. Okay, so then moving into the point about your social circle. Aside from the fact that they're getting into relationships, it sucks if you feel like your friends are sort of like leaving you out or not hanging out with you because they're in these relationships. I think that's the kind of frustrating side effect of like people, you know, falling in love basically. And I get the feeling of like wanting to experience that because you're watching other people just like, oh, like this must be fun. Like they're spending all this time with this partner that's just like do they just have sex, or like what's going on here? And for my entire like high school existence, I remember like really desiring a relationship so much. And then after finally being in one, I now realize that like relationships are like anything else. Like it is just what you make it. Like being in a relationship doesn't guarantee anything. Like you being happy in a relationship is contingent upon you being a happy person and picking a happy relationship to be in, you know? So I would definitely not, I think you know better. Like it sounded a little bit sardonic the way you were like, now I just want to go get in a relationship because my friends are all in one. But like, don't do that. I think that honestly, more often than people would think they'd be happy if they were alone. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like everybody thinks they need to be in a relationship, but actually like, no, you don't. I think you'd be perfectly fine if you maintained your friendships with these people and maybe like communicated about the fact that you feel like a little left out or something. I don't know. Maybe that's not a great solution because I don't know realistically how people would accommodate that or react to that. So yeah, I don't know. Go get you a filler partner to entertain yourself, I guess. That's what you should do. I've certainly been that person for people in the past. Yeah. Well, moving on to the next question. The second caller asked, Queer Abbey, how did you quit vaping/smoking nicotine? I've been around some friends that vape, and a while back, I picked up the habit too. I try to quit, and I end up going back. What method helped you quit for good? For good, honey. Getting rid of everything. I mean, I quit smoking cigarettes, like, was that 2 years ago or something, and change? Like actual real good cigarettes. And then I started just vaping for a year, and then I've been off of that stuff for, yeah, oh my God, over a year now. It's been a year and since the beginning of New Year's. So I threw everything away. It was coincidental with me really processing this breakup as well. I was with this ex for a while that I lived with, and there was so many things that went awry in this relationship, and I was finally realizing that like we were never going to get back together, and that like this person is just probably not really good for me to be around. And I was, you know, kind of acting crazy and everything, and I decided to quit smoking because I thought, why not? You know, like everything sucks already. So like, why not sort of add to the misery of everything and just compound it with this quitting smoking? Because then maybe I'll get something good out of it. I'm guaranteed some benefit from the pain of this breakup, because I can basically submerge the pain of quitting smoking within this breakup. So maybe you can do that. Maybe you can wait until something really bad happens to you, and then you can use that as like a cover, like a smoke screen for quitting smoking, so that your nervous system doesn't even realize that you've done this awful thing. Or peanut butter is another one. My grandpa apparently quit smoking by carrying around a jar of peanut butter and just like eating a spoonful of peanut butter anytime he wanted to smoke a cigarette, and that worked for him apparently. Or there's gum, nicotine gum. Try that. I think Nicorette is kind of a good drag name. Well, anyway, thank you for calling in with your lovely advice prompts. If you, my dear listener, have any questions, quandaries, or queries that you would like to pose to Queer Abbey to be shared on this grand platform, you can reach out to us. You can use the anonymous inbox that's in the description of this episode. It's always just, right down there. You can click it and type your little quandary right in there and hit send, and it's just like an anonymous little inbox text that it'll send to me. If you want, you can also send us an email to queerabby@gmail.com. That's QUEERABBEY@gmail.com. Or our phone number, which is 503-567-2053. So feel free to reach out any one of those ways, and get your nonsense featured on here. If you have music that you would like to feature, please reach out. Yeah, I think that would be super fierce. So let's move on now to our musical spotlight, which I'm very excited to share with you. Even though I'm so fucking tired, this is what I really was excited about and why I wanted to make sure to record this episode for y'all. So let's get into that after this little musical ditty. Y'all, welcome back. We are going to get into the musical spotlight now, which I am very excited to share with you. My very lovely classmate, whose artist name is Boppy, has a single that came out last year called Flowerbed. It's really interesting. It's got all of these cool, textural sort of samples and noises of zipping and coins or something like that, and these really various textures that are mixed in, and then they have a gorgeous voice and all of these dense harmonies and stuff that come in around it, and it forms this spooky, melodic, magical kind of anthem. They have kind of a lot of discography on Spotify, and I was really impressed going through it. They have another song called Stars that you should go listen to. That one is just really pretty. It has this really sweet, catchy kind of melody to it. Yeah, Boppy. They're really, really good producer and singer, and it's been really fun to get to know them a little bit better this past few weeks while we've been doing these film classes and everything, because they're in my sort of cohort that of study, I guess. Cohort of study. God damn, I'm doing my best. But regardless, I'm excited to show you Boppy's music. We are going to listen to Flowerbed, and I hope that you enjoy. Alrighty, y'all. So that was Flowerbed by Boppy. I hope that you enjoy their music as much as I did. You can go check out their link that is going to be in the description of this episode. Follow them on social media and go check out their Spotify. Yeah, fantastic discography. I certainly recommend just kind of clicking through and listening to everything. I am just hanging on by a thread right now. I'm about to drop dead right after I stop recording right now. So I'm going to let y'all go. Thanks for tuning in and for listening to the music of Boppy, for talking about being a silly goose, for talking about astrology with me, and the way I don't even remember what those advice prompts that I talked about like 5 minutes ago. I don't even remember what I just talked about. So yeah, thanks for listening to all that. That's so great. Have a good rest of your night, y'all.